Rúben Amorim gone? The rumors swirling around Old Trafford suggest the clock is ticking, and the board is already lining up a replacement. And it isn't just anyone. It's José Mourinho, the man who once called himself the Special One, and who might be about to return for an encore at Manchester United. The situation has escalated so fast that United fans are split between disbelief and déjà vu, but the logic is simple. Amorim looks lost, the dressing room looks fractured, and Mourinho is suddenly available. That mix could explode any moment. Amorim was supposed to be United's great reset. After years of instability, the club brought him in to inject fresh ideas, discipline, and a more modern tactical style. But the cracks appeared almost immediately. He wanted reinforcements, most notably Conor Gallagher, but the board didn't deliver. Instead, United stumbled through a disappointing summer transfer campaign. And now, instead of focusing on the football, Amorim has grown increasingly frustrated with the hierarchy above him. His anger has spilled into the open, echoing the same frustrations Erik Ten Hag once voiced. The dressing room whispers, the signals of discontent. It all feels like history repeating itself. In a different context, Amorim might have bought more time, but Mourinho's sudden availability changes everything. Freshly dismissed and living in England, Jose has made it clear he isn't ready to retire. He knows the league, knows the club, and crucially, he knows how to impose order in chaos. For a board that needs a quick fix, that's almost irresistible. And then there's the fixture list. United face Manchester City and Chelsea in their next 2 matches. These are make-or-break games, the kind of fixtures that can either restore credibility or destroy it completely. Lose both and Amorim's exit feels inevitable. Win at least one and maybe he clings on a little longer. But when the axe is hanging this low, even victories can feel temporary. The irony is that United's squad isn't bad. It's not title-winning level, but it's good enough to challenge for Champions League spots. What they lack isn't players. It's discipline, focus, and a coach who can squeeze every ounce of effort out of them. Mourinho, for all his flaws, has never lacked that. He doesn't need big transfers to create a structure. He thrives on intensity, accountability, and getting results when everything else looks broken. And that is exactly what United need right now. For the fans, the thought of his return would be sensational. For Amorim, it's a nightmare. Because the brutal truth is this: his next 2 games might not just be matches, they might be his last chance. Elsewhere, Arsenal are facing their own dilemma. Besiktas have made an official bid for Leandro Trossard, offering $19 million. At first glance, it's a tempting deal. After all, Trossard has played only 37 minutes in the Premier League this season, a figure that screams backup more than key player. At 29, he doesn't have time to waste on rotation roles. Turkey offers him a guaranteed starting spot, the chance to be a focal point again. But for Arsenal, the calculation isn't so easy. With Champions League football and a crowded schedule, depth matters. Sell now and you risk being left short if injuries hit. Keep him, and you may be paying good money for someone who barely features. Arteta has to decide quickly. The Turkish window is still open, but not for long. This is one of those rare crossroads where both options make sense, but the timing could define the season. And then there's Harry Kane, the man who left Tottenham to chase trophies in Germany. He achieved that goal at Bayern Munich, lifting the Bundesliga title and the Super Cup, but now? The whispers are growing louder. Kane could be preparing for a sensational return to the Premier League. His contract reportedly includes a clause that would allow him to leave for around $50 million. For Bayern, the writing seems to be on the wall. They're already preparing for his departure, knowing Kane's ambitions stretch beyond Germany. And the motive for returning home is clear: Alan Shearer's record. Kane left England with 213 Premier League goals, just 47 shy of Shearer's all-time mark of 260. Breaking that record has always been a dream, and now, with silverware secured in Germany, the path is open. The big question is, who needs him? Strangely enough, most top English clubs look satisfied with their strikers, but Manchester United remain the outlier. Despite spending heavily on forwards like Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, and Benjamin Šeško, the returns have been poor. Šeško in particular has struggled with 0 goals so far. If that continues, United may once again look toward Kane as the solution. For Kane, returning to England would be easy: his home, his style, his league. The chemistry is instant. For United, the temptation of a proven goalscorer may prove too strong to resist. And for fans, the story almost writes itself. Bruno Fernandes, meanwhile, has been at the center of endless Saudi speculation. This summer, Al Hilal reportedly offered over $80 million, and Al Nassr even sent Cristiano Ronaldo to call Bruno personally, urging him to join. Imagine that, your old teammate turned recruiter. But Bruno said no. Not forever, but for now. At 30, he knows the World Cup might be his last, and staying in Europe gives him the best shot at competing at the highest level. United wanted to keep him too. Despite their financial troubles, Fernandes is still the heartbeat of their midfield. But let's not pretend the Saudis are finished. They'll be back, and next time the price will be even higher. 100 million, maybe 120 million. By then, Bruno will be 31, the perfect age for a final payday. For now, United keep their leader. But beyond this season, it's anyone's guess. Over in Turin, Juventus are plotting one of the most audacious moves in recent memory. They're targeting Bernardo Silva. Not now, but in 2026 when his contract with Manchester City expires. On a free transfer. Imagine that, one of Europe's finest midfielders available for nothing. For a club in financial reconstruction, it's the dream scenario. But the competition will be fierce. Al Hilal will throw mountains of cash at him. Other European giants will circle too. The only advantage Juve have is Bernardo's preference. He still wants to stay in Europe, and the chance to lead a Serie A revival might just appeal to him. But Guardiola loves him, City value him, and keeping him won't be easy. This could become one of the biggest transfer battles of the next 2 years. Then there's the bombshell from Erling Haaland. According to El Nacional, the Norwegian striker is losing motivation at Manchester City. The goals haven't flowed as easily, and whispers suggest he has eyes only for Barcelona. It sounds outrageous, but Barcelona president Joan Laporta has already begun planning. Of course, finances make it complicated. Haaland's price tag sits at $180 million, and Barca's books are already stretched thin. To make it work, they'd have to sell, and names like Gavi are already being floated. But here's the key. Haaland's future is tied to Pep Guardiola's. If Pep leaves, Haaland may follow. And contracts? In modern football, they mean little. If the money and desire are there, deals happen. For Barcelona, the dream of pairing Haaland with Lamine Yamal is intoxicating. For City, the thought of losing their superstar is a nightmare. Robert Lewandowski adds another twist. He reportedly turned down a Saudi offer worth $100 million per year to stay at Barcelona. On one hand, it's loyalty. On the other, it might not have been the worst move for Barca to let him go. At nearly 38, his value will only drop, and selling now would have provided funds for the rebuild. Instead, he stays, determined to keep fighting. Whether that blocks or accelerates Haaland's arrival remains to be seen. From Amorim's looming exit to Mourinho's possible return, from Kane's unfinished business in England to Haaland's shocking desire for Barcelona, football's transfer market never sleeps. Bruno resisting Saudi millions, Trossard weighing Arsenal versus Besiktas, and Juventus dreaming of Bernardo, all of it paints a picture of a sport in constant motion, where loyalty is fragile and ambition is relentless. So what do you think? Is Mourinho the right man to steady United? Should Kane return home to chase Shearer's record? Can Barca really pull off Haaland's signing? Or is it just another pipe dream? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're enjoying these updates, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of transfer drama.